So we had a wild one in Kansas City. I mean, what a just fantastic, fun game. It at one point was 24-0 in the Texans' favor, and I kind of was just thinking like, okay, well, I expect the Chiefs to make a run back, but at the same time, I expected the Ravens to make a run after they got down big against the Titans, and that just never really happened. So maybe it won't really happen in this game, but then it started happening, and there was a lot of crazy plays. Patrick Mahomes went full Patrick Mahomes, and let's just get into it. I thought that the run back was actually really what kind of jump started this entire team. You know, there's that big run back to get the ball to the 42-yard line. And then the very next play, this happened where they're going up against a cover one hole, was the concept that they're going up against. And so at first, it looks like that's going to be Kelsey's route, where he's going to run over the middle, which is a route you'll run pretty frequently in this type of situation. And it wouldn't be terrible against this type of concept. However, what they're actually going to do is have him fake as though he's doing that, but then he's going to run out to the outside. That's what Kelsey is going to do here, which is actually a pretty great play call. I really like this a lot by Andy Reid. Smart route here because, Kelsey does run over the middle a lot, so sort of use that to your favor to have him break to the outside, and watch what happens right when the ball is snapped. If you look at his assigned man, he is totally expecting this to be about to the middle of the field. His shoulders are completely turned towards the middle of the field, and so then when Kelsey breaks down to the bottom half of the screen, he's easily able to get open. Mahomes is able to hit him, and they're able to get a chunk play just like that. And I mean, it also helps that, Kelsey is just such a tough guy to bring down that, he seemingly goes 10 yards after the catch just by the player who's going up against trying to tackle him. So that definitely helps a lot. And I thought Kelsey was also just fantastic in this game. I mean, the entire Chiefs offense was really, with outside of a couple of mistakes. One of them was by Kelsey, actually, a drop third down earlier on in the game. There was a couple of those early on, but after that happened, I mean, they just completely went off. The very next play was another just interesting play, and it really did involve Kelsey, even though he didn't actually touch the ball. So what's going to happen right now is, once again, it's going to be man coverage. But if you look at what's going on right there, so the Texan who's in charge of covering the halfback, Damian Williams, he is also lined up with Kelsey. He's lined up right near Kelsey. And it's interesting because he's a linebacker, and so he's going to actually use his size to his advantage a little bit. He's going to try to slow down Kelsey and make things easier on the defensive back who's in charge of covering Kelsey. But the problem with that is that Damian Williams is running that route right there, so it could actually give a little bit of an advantage to Williams because he is so quick. You'll see what I mean right when the ball is snapped. So, he creates the contact with Kelsey, slows Kelsey down, and makes it much more likely that Kelsey will not get the ball in his direction. But now Williams, who's running out to the top half of the screen, basically has an extra couple of steps on the linebacker. And that's all he needs. He's quick enough. Mahomes makes a great pass, and they're able to get the ball into the end zone just like that. And, I mean, from 24-0 to a big run back, 2 plays later, now it's 24-7. And really, right then, it kind of had that feeling of like, okay, they're not done playing just yet. This game is a long way from over. Just because the Baltimore Ravens got stunned last night doesn't mean that the Chiefs are also going to get stunned today, and, they didn't. And really, I mean, that's just what they did, is their ability to convert in the red zone was what made them be able to put up 50 points. Like this one, another one, now it's 24-7, and it's going to be a cover one concept, so one safety deep, there's going to be a 5-man rush, and then, 5 guys playing man coverage. And that's actually great news for the Chiefs. They have a lot of concepts against man. I actually thought the Texans as a whole played way too much man. I mean, I get that you kind of want to give your defensive backs as big of an advantage as possible, but the reality is the Chiefs receivers are so good, they can pick apart man coverage. At least in zone, you can have chances to sort of force Mahomes into making these smaller throws, or these throws of smaller windows, I mean. But anyways, those are the 2 routes that you really want to take a look at. One of them is Tyreek Hill's route. The other is Travis Kelce's route. And it's a great route concept against this type of coverage because they're both cutting over the middle. And since there is no Texan who's going to be playing coverage over the middle except for the guys playing man, these are 2 routes that can beat man very well. It's just a great situation for Kansas City because after the ball is snapped, there is a little bit of pressure. Mahomes has to run around a little bit, but now, as you see, again, Kelsey is just wide open. Mahomes is able to hit him. They get yet another touchdown. And it's just, you can't stop him in a one-on-one matchup. They were giving him way too many one-on-one matchups. And, I mean, Kelsey can run like a receiver, and yet he's also as big as, he's a tight end that can run like a receiver. He's just so tough to stop. And so when you're going up against somebody like that, the move isn't to just hope it works out. The move is to make sure that you take away him if you can. But, of course, you can't really do that because if you start double teaming him, you start paying him extra attention. Well, now you have Tyreek Hill, you have Hardman, you have Watkins, you have so many guys who can make plays that it's just a tough situation. I mean, even Damian Williams can make plays. Like they just have too many weapons. The offense is just too good. And oh yeah, by the way, you have Mahomes throwing it to them. So that's a huge reason why that it's just so tough to stop. I mean, I think anyone can sit here and say they should have done something differently, but at the same time, there wasn't really too much to do. It seemed like no matter what you do, something is going to go wrong. So I won't pick on Houston too much. Maybe not exactly what I would have done, but I mean, I think you could have Bill Belichick coaching this defense. They're not going to be able to stop the Chiefs' offense, I don't think. Although that being said, definitely Houston is not without blame. They made some mistakes, like on this one. So as you see what's going on right there, those two players are going to go in motion, meaning that this is man coverage. It's Kelsey going down to the bottom half of the screen, actually against Vernon Hargreaves. So definitely a favorable matchup for Kansas City, no doubt about it. And what's going to happen for Kansas City is they're going to have Kelsey run that route right there, and they're also going to have the receiver on the bottom half of the screen try to get in Hargreaves' way, essentially. So if he can do that, this could allow Kelsey to potentially get open. However, you got to give Houston credit right when this ball is snapped. Garyon Conley and Hargreaves do a great job of switching on this play. So now Conley will be covering Kelsey, and Hargreaves will be covering the receiver who's in that area. Great play there. Good awareness of realizing the situation, realizing there's, not a pick play, it's a rub route, which is basically the same thing, but to make sure that you don't get caught up in that. Really smart play there. However, then a less smart thing is going to happen. If you look at Conley, Kelsey is running through the bottom half of the screen, and Conley is keeping pace of him, but at a certain point, you can use the sideline, as an extra defender, essentially, where let him run towards the sideline. If Kelsey just runs towards the sideline, you can make a tackle. They only gain 2 yards. Now it's a 4th down, and maybe they kick the field goal, maybe they go for it. But either way, you want to set up a 4th down. However, he still runs way too close to the sideline, which allows Kelsey to get to the inside and get a touchdown. Again, I get it. It's tough. You're going up against Kelsey, but not what you should do there. You should let Kelsey make sure that you just keep Kelsey closer to the outside than you at all times, basically. That's what you should try to do. He didn't do that there. I mean, again, give credit to Kansas City for taking advantage of those small things, but you have to be basically perfect to beat the Chiefs, and Houston definitely wasn't. Like, this play was another good example of that, where it's going to be zone coverage actually this time. This was one of the few times they did play zone. At this point, it's now 24-21, so this was what gave the Chiefs the lead, and they never looked back once they got here. So it's zone coverage. What Kansas City is going to do is have 2 receivers run those 2 routes right there to try to push Houston Texans deep, and then they're going to have Kelsey run underneath. Hopefully, the players who are playing zone go further deep. Kelsey can get open underneath. That's just the hope. However, after the ball is snapped, again, give credit to Houston. The defender in that area does a good job of seeing Kelsey's doing that, simply just letting him run underneath, not panicking. That's what you're supposed to do here. But, of course, for Kansas City, the one bright side they had was something they had as a bright side for a large part of this game, and that was that Mahomes is able to run outside the pocket and run around, which is what he was able to do a lot throughout this game. So that'll give him some more time. But if you look at Zach Cunningham right there, he read this really well. He's breaking in here, making sure that Mahomes isn't going to be able to do too much, so you don't really have to worry about a run for a touchdown. And if you look at Bradley Roby right there, he's definitely covering up Kelsey, so this should work out. This should be okay. However, I think Roby just didn't realize that Zach Cunningham was already going to be able to make a play, because when Mahomes does continue running up, he runs up to try to make a tackle, which allows Mahomes to flip the ball to Kelsey. If he just stayed back, there would have been nothing that Mahomes could do, and they would have gone into the half probably tied 24-24, which is not the end of the world. Instead, Kansas City took the lead, and they just never looked back. I mean, they were just able to completely blow the brakes off the Texans, so that's just kind of what the Chiefs were able to do is, Mahomes was able to scramble. They were able to take advantage of these small mistakes. And, I mean, I thought Kelsey was just dynamic. He's such a good player, so tough to stop. And that's why the Kansas City Chiefs are, for the 2nd year in a row, going to be hosting the AFC Championship game. So, yeah, that's what I thought of this game. Only one divisional round game left. That's going to be tonight. So look out for a video for that. I'll try to make that shortly after the game ends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and all of my postseason videos. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.